checking. Is this doing what I think it does? Hold on. Just gonna make sure. Okay, for some reason that is having an issue. This one works, right? Alright, I think I have audio there. So we're good. And finally, I don't know why it's not working on Twitch for whatever reason, but that is bizarre. And that is also not my fault. Okay, for whatever reason, Twitch is not working. And now I have to do technical issues. This is why I give myself 4 minutes ahead of time. I'm like a genius. Huh, that's so weird. I shouldn't be having an issue. Why? Why must you do this to me? Why? What do you mean? That's bogus. That's a lot of bogus right there, dude. Dude, what are you talking about? Are you tripping, my guy? Huh? I'm like tweaking out right now. What is going on? It really hates me. That doesn't even make... Is it me? Did I do this? I don't believe I did. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I am the problem. I might be. No, I can't be the problem. There's no way. That's so bizarre. Alright, hold on. Now I have to do this, and I'm not super... I don't get it. Twitch is not working. It's like not loading. Maybe it's not loading for me, and it's loading for other people, but for some reason, Twitch does not want me to test if my sound... Well, my sound's working on YouTube, so I assume it has to be working on Twitch. I can't watch it, whatever. I'm gonna give people like a couple more minutes while I wait here. And at the moment, what I need is more water, because it is boiling hot. It's 77. I'm gonna need 3 minutes, and then we'll kick it off at 6:30 officially. It should be working now. Okay. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go like this. And that. Oh, what the? What'd I do? No, we're fine. Okay. 6:28. You know what? I'm just gonna start it now. Let me just. Ugh. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs, cats, rats, planes, trains, and automobiles, welcome in to what is episode 33 of the Primetime with Taff and Phil podcast, with Taff omitted because he is currently not here. For those who are wondering, he is out. We're in Bonnaroo, I believe, right now. So he'll be there for a few days. Hopefully we'll be back next week ready to go. But at the moment, it is going to be the one-man band myself. And I'll see how long I can go for. See how long I can last. Hopefully it's at least like half an hour, because I got some stuff we got to get into. Tonight at 8:30 on ABC, Game 3 between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. That's going to be exciting as the Thunder knotted up the series back at 1-1 after a stunning victory by Indiana in game number 1. Oklahoma City came back, bounced back rather, and bested the Indiana Pacers in game number 2. They look a lot more confident. They didn't even look better. They just won. I feel like they looked better in game 1 outside of the last few minutes, which seems to be a lot of what Indiana's been doing for the most part. But an impressive win nonetheless. For Oklahoma City, they look to take the lead. They're going to have to do it in Indiana. The real question for me is I want to see what the Pacers look like. As we know, we had, I believe, our boy Tyrese Halliburton, said he had, I think it was a sore hamstring, I believe. I don't want to get that wrong, so I'm going to double check that. But I believe he's going to be ready to go for Game 3. I'll be honest, in Game number 2, even in Game number 1, Indiana didn't look great, but Indiana still is in a position to take the lead in the series. I got to see a little bit better from Tyrese in this game. I mean, there's just not enough scoring from him. Like, I get that he's not the big scorer, but I need to see more. I need to see Halliburton step up in this series especially, because without it, it's brutal. He's going to have one of those Michael Jordan-esque games. I think he's capable. I think he'll have his chance. I think he'll get it. In terms of what I saw in the game last week, I mean, what was it? What was the last game? The 8th, right? Yeah. Yeah, Sunday. Let me check the stat line from that game real quick. Also, quick little tidbit. Maybe wondering why I replaced Taft's camera with these 3 characters. Because they're the cast of an underrated movie. You give it like 5 minutes of thought or whatever, I think you'd be able to get it pretty easily. I mean, the 2 people I asked got it like basically right away. Well, one of them did right away. It was crazy. Because I was shocked at one of them that was in this movie. If you do guess the movie, I get to rant about it for 5 minutes because I love that movie. I love the movie that this is, that I'm currently referencing. But I mean, looking at that, I mean, yeah, they just weren't great from 3 that last game. I mean, they only really had Miles Turner shooting 1 of 5 from 3. Neesmith was doing fine. Neesmith was always shooting well, and even Halliburton was shooting well. But I mean, Obi Toppin, 1 of 8 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. Like, they need their role players to do a lot overall in the series, and when they're not, it's bad. What I don't understand about Game 2 either, specifically, is why on earth are you removing your boy Tyrese Halliburton with 5 minutes to go? Like, the Pacers know who they are, right? They shouldn't be taking him out late. It's the same problem in Game 1. Game 1, Oklahoma City takes Hartenstein off the court and takes Holmgren off the court. And the Pacers go on a 13-4 run. It's like weird. These last 2 games, neither team feels like they are playing the way they're supposed to be playing. They're supposed to be, like, you should have your best defenders on the court in the final minutes if you're Oklahoma City in Game 1. And if you're the Pacers, why are you taking Halliburton off in the final 6 minutes of your game? Why? Everything in this playoffs entire run suggests otherwise. Keep him on the damn court. Keep him on the court. Ah! It frustrates me. It makes me upset. It bothers me. That's what it does. But tonight they're playing. They're playing tonight to take the lead. I will give my thoughts. I think it's another Thunder win. I think the Thunder built a lot more momentum in that second game. I mean, they could have let things get out of hand. Like, let's say hypothetically, Pacers go in and win both games in OKC. Then all of a sudden, with everything that's been said, it's like, all right, like, really? But the other thing too is, like, I don't understand why SGA's been sitting out either. Like, I feel like SGA should be playing 46 minutes. It sounds absurd, like, Dylan obviously needs a break, but when SGA is off the court, it matters. And the other thing is, it matters specifically because when he's off, Indiana plays way better. Like, obviously, because your best player's not on the court, but Indiana, when they remove SGA, the Thunder, when they remove him off the court, Indiana gets their minutes, and it's crazy. It's nuts. I think the other thing, too, is when you look at Halliburton playing more aggressively. That's another thing that they don't got. They need that. They need that ability to play more aggressively, and they need Tyrese Halliburton to be the one to do it. And when he's not, Indiana, well, is, for the most part, struggling. To me, I think this is a very easy Thunder win tonight. Just because I think Game 2 they made the correct adjustments they needed to, and even if Indiana does make the right adjustments tonight, I just think Thunder have too much firepower. And as much as I love your boy Rick Carlisle, there's only so much to me that head coaching is going to be able to get done at a certain point. Like Mark Daigneault, he's not like, I don't think he's better than Carlisle. I think I prefer Carlisle as a head coach. But in terms of the talent that's on that Thunder team, it's really not something that I think is beatable. It's just not. And secondly, also hold on, let me double check spread. I'm actually curious to see what the spread of this game is going to be. Thunder, Pacers, Game 3 spread. I think it's 5.5, but it is 5.5, yeah. Not interested in Google AI. Sorry, 5.5, which is shockingly low. That still feels like a low. I would take Thunder to win and to cover tonight if I was a betting man. I'm not a betting man, which is why, because I'm not a betting man, but I would say I think the Thunder. Oh, I guess it is in Indiana. I guess that's a good point. I just thought of that. But still, I mean, I just don't, and this may be a hot take, I don't think home field advantage is that crazy in the NBA. I've never felt like it matters because there's so many games and there's so much travel anyway that I never feels like it matters that much. Not been to like NBA games. I don't see it. I don't see it as where like I feel like it matters to like in the NFL. I feel like even like in baseball too. I guess the longer the season, the less home advantage feels like a crazy appeal. It just doesn't feel amazing. It's bizarre. It doesn't feel like it's crazy to me. But I have the Thunder tonight. I have the Thunder in a fairly, I would say, what would I say the score is tonight? I'll say 121 to 111. Final score. I think the Thunder are too good on defense, and I think right now especially, especially in Game 1, when the Pacers came back, the Thunder were just not hitting their shots. I think they're going to just get better shooting. They're going to shoot better as the series goes on. I think the Thunder will end up taking Game 2. Not Game 2, Game 3. They did take Game 2. They're going to take Game 3. But, moving off of the Thunder, the big thing that happened last week that I was not able to cover, Mr. Aaron Rodgers officially decides to sign after I don't even know how many months. I mean, basically since the offseason started. So we'd be looking at back in at least March. So it's been March, April, May, June. We've had 4 months of Aaron Rodgers basically saying, yeah, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to keep waiting, folks. I'm going to keep waiting. He keeps waiting. He finally signs with Pittsburgh last week. Signed a deal of, I believe it was up to $13 million, and then it could get to $19.5 million with incentives. So he's basically, I think he's making as much money as Daniel Jones is on the current deal he has in Indianapolis. Which, I mean, yeah, I think that's good for Pittsburgh. And then the question is that I know I've seen everyone going around saying this, that Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh is bad. My dad's a Steeler fan. I doubt he likes it. I know my mom doesn't like it for sure. And media has been harping on it. And they have been... Because, I mean, Aaron Rodgers just that... He has that sort of personality that makes it very easy to just kind of... What I would say, pick on, so to speak. Because he's weird. I think, honestly, Aaron Rodgers works in Pittsburgh, at least to a certain extent. And that's total bias from me being the Steeler fan. But I would also say that in regards to all of it, he's still 41. Is he 41? Yes. And who was it? It was like, I want to say wasn't Kendrick Perkins. Some analyst, I don't really remember, goes on, says no quarterback has played well into their 40s. Wrong. There have been quarterbacks like Favre who played at 40. We've seen Brady play incredibly well at 40. We saw Breeze win a division title in his 40s. I think there was one other guy. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Someone else was 40 and won a division title, but I don't remember off the top of my head. The point is that you can play at 40 and still play well. And Rodgers was coming off an Achilles injury his previous season, and the last few games actually looked like he had returned to somewhat of form. And now was on a bad Jets roster. It was an overhyped roster. It just had a lot of young guys. It had poor management. It had an awful ownership. Now you go to Pittsburgh. It's more stable. There's a sense of stability there. There's a sense of stability in Pittsburgh that just does not exist with the Jets. That does not exist with like the Browns, for example. It's that level of ownership. It's the level of being able to step back and let the guys you hire run that organization. Make those on-the-field decisions. Coach the games. Play the games. And when you're an owner and you start kind of meddling and dabbling into, okay, this is what I want out of my team, it doesn't work. I mean, look at what's happened with Jerry Jones. Now, some owners are good and understand like what they're doing, but a lot of those owners, they don't get the perspective of, they're all watching from a box. They're all sitting. It was the most recent Colts owner after Jim Irsay passed. Rest in peace to Jim Irsay in Indianapolis. The most recent Colts ownership. They had named the principal ownership, and she says she watches the game from the sideline, and that's a much different perspective to have when you're watching the game from the sideline versus when you're watching it up in the booth, or when you're watching it in the stadium, or when you're watching it on TV. It's a different perspective. You have to have the closest possible perspective when referring to that, and if you're not, I don't know what to tell you. That's what it is. Why did these not update? Huh? Is that why it didn't update? Man, come on! It didn't update because I had too many characters. What do you mean, bro? Fine, I'll edit it. Jeez. Ring, dude. Ugh. Fine. I'll change it. I'll just drop this half. Does that work? Aha! Did that work? Please tell me it worked. I always miss these things, man. Alright, that should have worked. Haha! Success! I am a genius. Was that why this wasn't working? Nope. Don't know why it's still not loading on Twitch. Whatever. But it was a bad situation in New York, is my point. Jets are a bad franchise. Have made the playoffs in 15 years. Granted, Pittsburgh hasn't won a playoff game in 8 years. But if you want to have a shot at winning a playoff game, this year, it's not going to be Mason Rudolph. And I just don't understand analysts like Nick Wright coming out and saying, yeah, I'd say Mason Rudolph is the guy. What? Why? I like Mason. This is coming from a guy who loves Mason Rudolph. I thought he was it. Run Rudolph. I loved it when he was first playing. But, you know what he is now. And and you're going to see it in camp. You're going to see it in camp. You're going to see it in preseason. You're going to see it during OTAs. You're going to see that one guy is way better than the other guys in your roster. And it's Aaron. Say what you will, but that is the reality. One is better than the other. By a significant margin. One gives you more chance to win games. One is going to points on the board. One is better than the other, and it's not close. Now, outside of just Aaron Rodgers, there is also the matter of TJ Watt, who's now holding out. And you've got, again, analysts saying, I would trade TJ Watt for a first. Dude, to me, I watch every Steelers game, and I'm telling you right now, TJ Watt's the reason they win games. It's not their quarterback. It's not their receivers. It's not their run game. That man is single-handedly won that team games on multiple occasions. Not just this season, but multiple seasons, over basically all of these seasons. It's the only reason I think they're 500. That they're able to get to 9-8, I think he's a huge part of that. to trade away your best player and do what? Go 5-12? Like, I get it. There's a sense of rebuilding, but why tear everything down? Because at that point, once you trade TJ, you basically are admitting, okay, we're not competing this year at all. We have no expectation to compete. You don't trade away your best player and think that's what we're going to do. We're going to send away our best player. It doesn't matter. Like, if the Browns traded away Myles Garrett, that's what they would have admitted. That's basically what they said, that it was going to be a complete rebuild. And it still is. But they didn't do it, and they ended up paying them. You pay those guys because those are guys that win you games. That's the difference between going 7-10 or 10-7. I think that is a huge difference. When you pay your best players. He's one of the few guys, I think, in the league that you would give money to. You give him a blank check. One of the very few guys in the league you would give a blank check to that aren't like, say, one of the top quarterbacks. He's one of those guys. It doesn't make sense to me why you've got people calling for him to be traded in the media. It's absurd. He had a down year that for most edge rushers would be their career year. So let's not act like it's anything different. Oh my gosh, it's hot. It's hot in this room. I just don't see any reason why you would want to move off of him. I don't, and I don't think they will. And I think Rodgers, and like I said before, I think Rodgers is going to be better than people think. I don't think he's gonna have this weird, similar season to the Jets. Because again, the Jets were full of dysfunction. Pittsburgh is significantly more stable, and Rodgers played better down the stretch of the season. That was just a true statement. Rodgers played better as the season towards the end of the season. And yeah, it was like a touchdown. It was like 14-3 TD to INT ratio. He played well, ultimately. Is he a little bit of a controversy? Is he a little bit of a problem? Maybe with controversy? Sure. Mason Rudolph would have landed you at like 5-12. Or 6-11. It's just not... It's not feasible. You can't look at me and go, yeah, Mason Rudolph's going to be our starting quarterback for the year. You're not the Titans. And even then, the Titans at least had Will Levis. They had something that they were looking at that could be something. Like, look at every other team. You can't go into the season not with the worst quarterback in the division. You'd rather not. So that's why they went out and got him. And I think it'll be better than I think people expect. People have doubted Pittsburgh that they will go less than 9-8. I don't think that'll happen. I think that's just the reality. And moving from... But I think that's going to be fine. We're fine. I know it may sound like I'm delusional, but I'm going to be honest. It's not going to be a disaster. It would be a disaster if it ends up being Mason. But it's not. And it was never going to be. Moving on. And then I'm going to keep it in the NFL, and then I'll switch to the NBA in just a moment. A couple other signings that I noticed that were interesting to me. Nick Chubb signing a 1-year deal with the Houston Texans. I think it was worth $2.5 million. I'm going to first talk before even Houston. I know Browns fans were pissed at this. I know I personally would be if that's what it cost to keep him. I don't know why you're getting rid of Chubb. I mean, I know why, but it seems kind of ridiculous to let him go when that's all you could have just kept him for very cheap on your roster. It doesn't make sense for me to let go of Nick Chubb. If you're Cleveland, you got very little else, right? You just paid Myles Garrett a truckload of money to stay. Now you're saying, all right, we don't want to keep Nick Chubb anymore. So now he goes signs with the Texans. People in Cleveland, say what you want, they like Nick Chubb. They'd prefer to have kept Nick Chubb as opposed to anybody else. And there's a lot more. And I get it. He tore his ACL a couple years ago. He broke his foot at the end of this year. But if it was $2.5 million, what are you doing letting him walk? He's like 29. It's not over per se. And people love him. It just feels kind of whack. I get it's a business, but it feels whack to be letting go of a player that you didn't have to do much to keep in the first place, and that probably was your most likable player. And I mean, hold on, what's their running back depth chart look like right now? I mean, I gotta double check that because, like, it's just, you're gonna tell me that, like, okay, Jerome Ford I get, but really, you're gonna tell me he can't be the backup to Jerome Ford. You got Quinshawn Judkins, Dylan Sampson, and Pierre Strong Jr. That's the chart. And you got, like their receiving room isn't incredible. Like, Njoku's good, Jerry Jeudy's good, but, like, Deontay Johnson, man. Bro's been on, this is going to be his 5th team in less than 2 years. Nobody wants him. It's not good. Unbelievable. It just doesn't make sense to me. It'll never make sense to me. Why they would just let him go. It's bizarre. It's just bizarre. Ugh. Throwing him in my mouth. As for how he's going to fit in Houston, I don't understand that either. Because if I go to the I'm going to go swap it to the Texans depth chart. You already have Joe Mixon. Now I get it. Joe was hurt for parts of last year. But it's just a weird fit. Because he's not going to be RB1. That's obviously Joe Mixon. I mean, I kind of like Dameon Pierce as the second back, right? Like, I like what he brings to the table a little bit more than I would say Chubb. And it's not like Chubb's a receiving back. Neither are. Like, Dameon Pierce isn't a receiving back either. But it feels like a weird fit. It feels off. It feels just a little off. I don't think it's bad. It's not like, oh my god, it's the worst signing of all time. It's so bad. How could you do this? No, it's fine. I think it'll be okay. It just feels like a little off. Just a wee bit off. As for the other signing that I actually do like, that was J.K. Dobbins to the Broncos. Which, again, I don't get why the is now Chargers. Why the Chargers let him go. That I don't understand. The Broncos drafted Harvey. They drafted R.J. Harvey to be their starting back. You bring in Dobbins as the 2. I wouldn't doubt if Dobbins ends up being the 1. Because Dobbins is good. I mean, he's... When he came in 2020, I actually wanted to draft him. We ended up getting Claypool, who I didn't like at the time, then liked after his rookie season, and then never liked again. It's just... I don't know. I think it's good for Denver. They really need any amount of help at the running back position. Because they didn't... Who'd they have? They had... Who was it? Tyler Badie towards the end of the year? I was like, who is running the ball? Like, I wouldn't... Did Bo Nix lead the team in rushing yards last year? Who led the Broncos in rushing? I'm going to look that up, actually. Because that might be true. Or, just stats. I need to see what their rushing... No, it was Javonte Williams. Huh. Bo Nix was third. He was third behind... But, like, they had McLaughlin Williams... And neither one, like, I think Julian McLaughlin numbers look better just in terms of a yard per carry basis. But like, they could use a legitimate running back. Honestly, the fact that Denver made the playoffs last year kind of is, to me, a lot of the work of Sean Payton and not really much that roster. It's a decent roster, but it doesn't work for me. It's fine. I don't know, and I don't get why the Chargers would want to keep Harris. Again, like, in terms... I think J.K. Dobbins' fantasy impact is going to have a lot more fantasy impact than, say, Nick Chubb would under any circumstances. Because I think the only thing Chubb might get is, like, goal line carries, but I don't even think it's worth it at that point. I think that's what he would get the most out of. And you already have a goal line back in the form of Pierce, so I don't even know if it's a guarantee. And then I go to the Chargers depth chart. Like, man, dog... Why is it... Yeah, like, you sign Najee Harris, you draft Amari Hampton. Like, I would just start Amari. I would start Hampton over Harris. I would argue that Amari Hampton is arguably a better draft pick in fantasy than Najee Harris is by the end. Because I don't know. I've never had faith in Najee. I had faith in him his rookie year, and then it just sunk a little less and a little less and a little less and a little less. Because he runs like he wears jeans. He's like jeans and snowshoes all the time. It's the way it looks like when he runs. He runs in slow motion. He runs at like 30 FPS. Everyone else runs at 60. It's like, that's what it looks like when he runs. It's bad. I don't need that in my life. I'm glad I don't have it in my life anymore, and it's Jalen Warren. Or Caleb Johnson. Either one. I prefer that over Najee. Moving on. But those were the main things, I think, NFL signings that I saw. And then there's I guess there's Stephon Diggs is the other thing I could touch on for a second. Man, Diggs. What a weird thing, too. You had just torn your ACL. You had probably, like, the worst season of your... Really, honestly, for Diggs, it's the worst season of his career. Because, you know, tearing your ACL sucks. And you would think you'd be, like, in camp ready to go. Nah, he's just on a boat. And I get it. Like, he's like, I love his energy. Yeah, but, like, do you? Do you really love that energy? I mean, I get it's not... Like, I get that Vrabel's not trying to make it not New England. But that's still not a good mentality for your players to have. Right? Like, just running around, doing God knows what, with random women on boats. Like, for, like, the guy that's the veteran in the locker room, it just seems a wee bit off. Moving along. That's all I had to say on that. Moving along. Switching it back from the NBA, going NFL, now we're going back to the NBA, and I gotta cover Taft's Knicks because he's not here, and I get to make fun of him. I get to make fun of the Knicks in peace. It's not the same. It'd be like better if he was here and I could just, you know, blast the Knicks with him in person. But since he's not here, I'll just have to talk about it right now. The New York Knicks. My gosh. To me, it's an embarrassment. That's what I would say. I find it a little embarrassing because now there are four head coaches that they've tried to get interviews with and they've been denied. So it was before, I think the first one was Chris Finch. It was Chris Finch and Ime Udoka, the head coach of the Timberwolves and the head coach of the Rockets, respectively. Those are the two that first got declined. I was like, all right, that makes sense. One was a 2 seed, one made it to the Western Conference Finals. They're not going to allow them to do it. I get it. Then they tried to go get Jason Kidd. They tried to do an interview with him. That doesn't happen for the same reason. Dow's like, nope, we're not going to do that. And I get that too. Jason Kidd, you know, legendary, very good coach. I get it. And then they try to go interview for, I think it was the Hawks head coach, Quinn Snyder, and they denied the interview. So, I mean, and it's weird, right? Because the way it seems in New York is this. The New York Knicks are casting this giant net. This big, huge net. It's like, we're going to get somebody. We're going to get some fish. We're going to get some fish. And I'm going to be honest, you should have had a name. When you fired Thibs, I know Thibs needed to go, but you had to have a name ready. Like, you need to have two to three guys. Just off the top of your head, these are the guys that we want as head coach. And your logic is now, yeah, we're just going to, like, throw our hat into the ring to every single person. That, to me, doesn't feel like a team that is ready to hire a head coach to go win a championship. It just doesn't. It doesn't bring that energy at all. Feels like we really want to just, we're just, like, it's the girl who flirts with everybody at the party. That's what the Knicks are doing. They're the one person who flirts with everyone at the party, just trying to, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. It feels like a bad team that needs anybody at head coach in terms of the way they're doing this. Why are you asking for interviews from every single coach? Like, I get wanting to interview Udoka, who the Rockets had a great year. I get wanting to interview Finch, who got to the Western Conference Finals. I get that. But Quinn Snyder? We're going after Snyder now. I especially get Jason Kidd. Quinn Snyder now? Like, why are we I get casting a net, but cast the net in, like, a decent ocean. Don't cast the net into the swamp. You're going to pull up crocodiles and alligators, and you don't want that. You want a head coach. who's good, whose purpose is to go win you a championship. And your logic is, yeah, let's interview Quinn Snyder. That's our guy. No. The idea was, why not? Where's Malone? Like, can we just cut to the chase? I feel like that's what's going to happen. The Knicks are probably going to end up hiring Mike Malone, who I'm not as high on as other people are. But, come on. Rip the Band-Aid off. Rip it. Go. It just seems off to me that's their mentality. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to ask for all these interviews, and then we're going to get declined every single time. Like, I wouldn't doubt it. I just felt my watch vibrate with a notification. It wasn't. But imagine if it was a notification that they just got declined for a 5th interview. Like, nobody's going to let you interview their head coach. They're just not. It's not going to happen. Come on. What are we doing here? Let me see. Hold on. And then, let me see, let me just see if there's anything else that came up about it, because, I mean, they've been denied by, like, 4 different teams. Jason Kidd. Yeah, it was Kidd and Snyder. Was there anyone else? Finch, yep. Udoka. I think those 4. I think those are the 4. Like, I feel like you gotta have a name if that's the decision you're gonna make. And I know a lot of people are saying that Dolan went out of his way to make sure that was removed. And I agree. I agree that it was needed to go. At the same time, you gotta have a name ready. You gotta have a guy that you're looking at like, that's my guy. Like, I hate to be, like, you shouldn't do this in relationships. You shouldn't have somebody just waiting on the side. But in this case, you needed to have someone waiting on the side in order to do this, because it looks like it's going to very quickly become a mess the longer you wait for this. The longer you wait and you sit and you try to wait for the right coach, I think it's going to lead to issues. I guess they're trying to look who could be available is what they're suggesting. Like, maybe they could be available, right? But, like, you should know for the most part. And let me also say this. If they are available, like, if Quinn Snyder was hypothetically available, would you, like, really be like, yup, let's go get him? Why would asking for a team's head coach and the team's like, yeah, we're okay moving off this guy, that should be, like, a bad sign. That should be a bad sign that team wants to move off him, right? Am I crazy? Am I insane? Am I nuts? Am I freaking out here? Like, what's next? Imagine. I think the thing that would just get the most headlines by far, that would just be funny to me because I'm a Knicks hater, is, Rick Brunson. Bring in Mr. Brunson. Bring him in to coach. Let's see it. How exciting would that be? How exciting would that be as a headline overall for New York? It works. It's great. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And yet, I mean, it's also funny because now that head coaching coach, like, the fact that it's getting as much, if not more, attention than the finals is nuts. Oh, and one more thing about the finals. Can we talk about what happened in Game 2? And I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about that awful NBA Finals trophy logo. Like, that was a joke. That was terrible. Let me see if I can look this up real quick. NBA Finals Game 2 trophy. I wanted to see what it looked like. Yeah. They put the trophy court graphic, and it looks awful. It just... Yeah, literally got bullied into putting digital Larry O'Brien's up. It looks awful. It looks like somebody just, like, here, I'm going to do this. Larry O'Brien. I'm going to do this right now. Because it looks awful. Can I get a PNG of this and then just the white background, please? But it looks so bad. They got bullied into doing it, and they didn't even do it right. It looked awful. It was a nightmare. Like, I don't understand, like, Everybody loves, like, the finals, it's supposed to be this big, important thing, and it'd be so easy. And the other thing that's so interesting about it, too, is if you look at most logos, they're all basketballs. They're all circles. And when you look at the Larry O'Brien trophy, it is literally a basketball on top of a thing. It's just a basketball on top of a little, like, leaning tower. And most, like, if you look at any NBA, like, look at all NBA logos. Just look at them. All the NBA logos have some, are either a circle or have a basketball in them. Lakers, Clippers, both Pacers, and maybe I guess the Thunder don't. The Thunder don't, but still, like, it's not that hard to make the finals look important. All right? You need to have a little bit of visual representation. You need to visually show me this is a spectacle. Make it look good. Don't just slap on, like, 2 trophies that look like you just dragged them on, like, last minute onto the court and say, yup, now it's important. No! Real effort! You could easily put, like, the Pacers logo into, like, combined with the trophy in the middle as the logo that's on the court. Like, you just do that. It's not hard. That's, like, people are paid to do that. People are paid to take care of the court and make the court look nice and pretty and awesome, and they're not doing that. Those people need to have a firm talking to. A stern, not firm, stern talking to. They need to be talked to, and they need to be told, hey, make this graphic and make it look awesome. Please. Like, it's not that difficult. Just do it. Ugh, my gosh. Like, it cannot be that hard. And yet they got bullied into doing it and did it wrong. So frustrating. Ugh, I forgot what I was even going to talk about next. Like, I got into that rant. It makes me sad. Because, I mean, just everything is... It was the same problem I had kind of with the Super Bowl a little bit. The one thing this is the one issue that I will always have with the Super Bowl, is every time they update the graphic, like the overlay, they update, like, okay, this is the, you know, like, what do they call it? There's a name for it. The digital, like, you know, the display. You have the score, you have the time, you have all of these things. Boom, you have it. And they update every time in the Super Bowl. And every time like, this one just now, one of the worst renditions of it I've ever seen. Terrible. It looks gross. And the worst part is, it's like when they introduce it, that's the new one. That's the new one for that station for, like, the next 3 years, and that's it. Like, the point of it being there is for information. So people can know, like, what down and distance is, how much time is left, how many timeouts the teams have. And they, like, simplify it down to just being garbage. You know, like, they just made it so, like, it looks like it was made by AI. It's just so bad. Why? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Can we not do this to ourselves? Anyway, I think the other thing, the final NBA topic, and I'm going to do a random little thing at the end here. Final NBA topic, there were talks of Giannis Antetokounmpo. His Bucks got bounced in round 1 by the Pacers, who are, in fact, in the finals. And at this point, I know there's, like, KD rumors. I don't really think KD is as interesting as Giannis, because KD's A, significantly older, and B, I don't really feel that if KD goes anywhere that they become a contender at all. Because it feels like the 2 places he goes, they're just destined to crash and burn. Unless you're, like, well run. You can't. Let me put it this way: you can't be trading for Kevin Durant for him to be the feature guy, as crazy as it is. I know he's still, like, a top 12 player in the NBA, but he's not. The dude does not care about winning right now. He just does not. On the bright side, Suns are bringing back Valley jerseys, which I'm very excited about, because it's my favorite rendition of their jerseys. The Valley jerseys are so good looking. But with Giannis, I believe he came out and basically said, you know, he thinks he's basically hinting that he's staying with the Bucks. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I do know why. He feels the need to be loyal to Milwaukee. Why? The Bucks just did not really do a great job of keeping this roster updated and fresh and, well, frankly, good. and the Bucks have just underwhelmed. I mean, since they won the finals, hold on, what have they done since they won the finals? Have they won a series since they won the finals? I might be capping, but I think they won one. They won one series after they won the finals against my freaking Suns, man. But no, like, oh yeah, they did because but they beat the Bulls. Who cares? They beat the Bulls. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you beat the Bulls, man. So they beat the Suns, they get there, but then they beat like the Bulls next year, and then they lost to Boston, and then they've lost to the Heat, and then the Pacers twice. So, and it's not like these series have been very good either. I mean, you lost to the Pacers in 5 this year, and you lost to them in 6 the year before, and you lost to the Heat in 5 the year before that when you were a 1 seed and they were an 8 seed. At a certain point, why in the world are you staying there if you're Giannis? Especially with an opportunity to maybe play in New York, or potentially go to the Rockets, or play literally anywhere else. It's a small market, and it's not even a good, like an amazing small market, right? Like a small market team would be like for example, Green Bay is a small market. The Packers are a small market, but they're such an iconic franchise that I can understand wanting to stay and playing for them. I don't get the benefit in playing in Milwaukee. I just don't. And I don't know. I get why the Bucks are trying to hold on to him, but they don't have a roster to compete right now. They don't. And then in the East, they don't have a roster to compete in the East. If you don't have a roster that can compete in the East, what are you doing? Pack it in. So unless they make some drastic changes this offseason, which I don't see happening, I think ultimately somebody will make a deal that is too tempting for the Bucks, and I think they will take it. I think Milwaukee should be moving off Giannis. It just makes logical sense at this point. Just don't know why they wouldn't. I get why Giannis is saying it, but I think he's capping. I think he's full of it, and I think he does ultimately get moved. The question is where. I think it really depends on who the Knicks hire if they were to trade for him. I don't see them moving off Cat a year into it. I would probably say probably Houston. It honestly, as scary as this thought could be, it could be OKC. Because OKC has the picks and the players to make a trade like that, which is so scary. I really hope it doesn't happen. I don't want to see Giannis in Thunder, but I do want to see Giannis in a new uniform. Like I think it's about time that he leaves Milwaukee. It feels done. It feels like maybe there was a time where they could have made a run and done this, but it feels kind of over. It feels like Milwaukee, the time with the Bucks has just kind of run its course. All right. And finally, before I wrap up, I think I'm going to wrap up in the next few minutes. Mostly because I covered everything that I wanted to cover in the last 40 minutes. But as you can see on my left side, normally Taff is here. He is not, of course. Oh, also, did I say Happy Father's Day? Father's Day is actually this Sunday. How about that? I guess that's also something. It's actually, I don't think House is a father. Neither is Bojack either. But, anyway, it's an early, I want to wish everyone an early Happy Father's Day before I say what I'm about to say. So happy early Father's Day to those who are watching and those who, all fathers around the world. And grandfather. Well, I mean, grandfather. You're a type of father. When I say father, I mean all fathers. Anybody with the name father in there. Maybe wondering, though, if you're watching, who these three lovely gentlemen are in the other screen. It is Donkey Kong from the Super Mario movie, BoJack Horseman from the show BoJack Horseman, and Dr. House from the show House. And I recently found out, I knew the first two, but I did not know that House, who the actor Hugh Laurie, voices Dr. Cockroach from Monsters vs. Aliens, which means that these three are also Bob, the big blue blob from that movie, and then BoJack, who is Will Arnett. That was Seth Rogen who voiced Bob. Will Arnett voices the missing link, and then Hugh Laurie voices Dr. Cockroach. And I gotta say, I don't know why that movie isn't. That movie is so, to me, funny. I enjoy the movie. It came out, it was 2009. It's a good movie. It's like an hour, 40 minutes. I'm surprised it doesn't get talked about as much. And probably because there are some movies that are similar to it. Kind of reminds people, it does remind me of Megamind a little bit. But I loved this movie. This movie was fun. This movie had its moments. Where it's Hey, there's the scene in the car. Like, literally, they got John Krasinski to do one scene in the car. This may have, like, where he goes, he's, like, the girl's trying to make out with him, and she just puts her hands on him, and he just full-blown grabs her face with his hand. Just, don't rush me, Katie. I'm not ready. It's got some good moments. There's that. There's, oh my gosh. There's one where he goes, would you like a gun? Yes, I would. Hey, guys, look. And just shoots him. And then there's, I may not have a brain, gentlemen, but I have an idea. It's an underrated movie. I just realized, I never realized that House also voices the cockroach. He's got the laugh that goes, you know? I hadn't realized that until recently. And it's, I enjoy it. I'm surprised it didn't get a sequel. I'm gonna look that up. Did this Monsters Aliens maybe it got one like direct to DVD? Because other stuff happened. Like, and then DreamWorks. I mean, they made like it was a DreamWorks movie. I thought for sure that there was gonna be a movie because they did other stuff with this property. They just never made a direct sequel, even though they teed it up in the movie. They literally say, "Hey, we gotta go take out a giant slug that's going to France." And then they never did. They never made Monsters vs. Aliens 2. I mean, it makes... I don't know. Oh, also, you know who else voices the villain in that movie? Dwight. Like, Rainn Wilson voices the villain in that movie. It's crazy. He's in that movie, too. Maybe I should add him to the graphic here. Just add Dwight and then add John Krasinski. I mean, that movie had a surprisingly fun cast. And it was a fun movie. I can't say, I'm not going to say otherwise. But I just don't get it. It was all teed up to have a sequel and then never did. Commentator of the studio did not have plans to introduce future movie genre parodies like Megamind, Monsters, Aliens, and Shark Tale, nor sequels to these, saying that these films all shared an approach in tone and idea of parody. Yeah, but like, you gave Megamind a sequel, you just gave it a really crappy one. You know? I don't know. There could have definitely been a sequel. I feel like there's no reason for there not to have been. There should have been. I'm going to say that there should have been a sequel. And I will stand by that. I will march into DreamWorks and demand that a sequel is made. But, outside of that, that's all... gosh, there should have been. What other movies didn't get sequels? Let me just ask Google what movies that should... Because, like, people have always said, oh, sequels are bad. Sequels can work. It's just, like, you know, like, I just have this weird... You know what I wanted a sequel to? Coraline. I want another Coraline movie. I want that. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think it deserves more because the concept is freaky. People with buttons for eyes, and they sew buttons in your eyes and then take your soul, and that's how they survive. They eat your soul when you put on the buttons. They should have had another version of that. They didn't even need to make it about Coraline. They could have just made another similar kid go into a similar situation, or like an origin story of the evil stepmother. Like, there are things that I like a lot. Like, I think people that love what they love want more of it all the time. I mean, that makes sense. But, like, specifically movies. Like, if you like a movie a lot, you want, like, as much of it as possible. Like, I wanted to see more of Coraline. The mystery enthralled me. And I need to see, like, this freaky button stepmother, like, I need more. I need to find out more about this world and how it existed. And I want that. And there are, like, other movies that are like that, where it's like, I want more of it, right? Like, when I watched Cars as a kid, I wanted a movie solely about Strip Weathers. When I watch that movie, I don't watch that movie for Lightning McQueen. I watch that movie for Strip Weathers. That guy is legit. That guy is the man. I know everybody loves McQueen. Everybody thinks they're McQueen. Dude, the king. The king is the man. The king is the guy. Like, could you... Like, if you're talking to the king, like, we got the king who's, like, the Tom Brady of his sport. And then you got the Chick Hicks, who to me is, like, Phillip Rivers. Just never He'd been chasing that tail fin his entire career. But the last thing he expected. But anyway, weird analogy over. It is, it's been 54 minutes in this stream. It is currently 7:20. Game starts in an hour and 10 minutes. That'll be Pacers Thunder. I'm going to give my final predictions. And you know what? Why don't I... Well, first off, let me give predictions. I think Thunder are going to win. I think they're just a better roster. I know they're going to Indiana. I don't care. If the Thunder play their stars correctly, they're going to win the game. The other thing is I'm going to look at... There was something crazy. One of the most bet unders was Thomas Bryant to get under a rebound and a half, which I don't buy remotely. Because what, he's their... Like, I don't understand how that's possible, that people are betting that. I guess he only got... it's not impossible. It feels weird. It's a very weird under. But it makes sense. I mean, he doesn't play a whole lot of minutes. He only just played... he played 12 minutes in their loss at OKC. Maybe it's not that crazy of a bet as I thought. Just to bet the under. Let me look at Pacers Thunder Game 3 prop bets. Let's see. Let's see what we're looking at. I'm just gonna say, just, you know what? Wait, yeah, you know what? Just do it's gonna be -5.5 OKC. It's gonna hit the over, and they're gonna win. So I would just do spread in the over, man. Take the Thunder on the spread and bet the over. That's my unprofessional take on bet because I don't know, man. That would be my guess. The best bet I get is Pacers plus 5.5, Pacers money line. It's like the best bet, but like, come on. I mean, I guess if you, the other thing about betting too is it's generally way more fun for the underdog because of course you're gonna make more money, but still, it's probably gonna be Thunder cover the spread. I think Thunder cover, and I think it goes over 226.5. It's 226.5 or just 226? Oh, it's 227. Where? Goofball. Right, 226.5. Whatever. I think it still goes over regardless. That's been it for me, though. That's been my hour. It's been my time. A little bit of a slow start today, but then gotten to rhythm. So I want to say thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure double check you're subscribed with that little bell notification, so you get notifications when we go live, when we upload new stuff. And go check out the Instagram. Like some of the stuff over there. You see, it's right there in the bottom right corner. Prime Time with Taff and Phil. That's all I have for today. Hope you all have a blessed rest of the evening. I hope you guys enjoy this weekend, and happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Go show your father some love. Get him a nice, get him whatever. Get him a lawnmower. Get him, don't get, actually, a lawnmower's expensive. Just show your father that you appreciate him. I'm sure he'll find a way to do that. Anyway, I am taking off. Y'all have a good night.